What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny. In the last episode, we finished up Operation Seraph's Shield, getting ourselves a brand new exotic, Revision 0, an exotic that requires a lot of time and a lot of investment to get it done. I am not going to be working on that, mostly because of time constraints. In this Let's Play, I literally have 2 days left to record the remainder of this season, and there's no way I'm going to be able to try to also cram getting everything done for Revision 0. It's very, very simple if you want to go look it up online. Granted, it's going to definitely be relegated to the exotic archive in future. How you're supposed to get the catalyst later on, I can't quite say with any certainty, but the way you have to get the catalysts in the game as of current is a bit more difficult. Now we're back. We're going to be talking to the exoframe, but we're not actually going to be progressing the quest along today. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break today to do a couple of other things. But let's talk to Clovis, because I at the very least want to get a whole lot of engrams turned in.
We are running out of time. With every passing moment, our adversaries grow closer to seizing control of the war sites. Anastasia has been working on a way to expedite the restoration process, but I doubt it will prove successful. She may have iterated on Rasputin's neural architecture, but she did not build it. I did. No one understands the Warmind like I do. Still, allowing her to pursue an alternate methodology can't hurt, so long as it doesn't impede the real work. Rasputin's internal algorithm is fully capable of reconstructing its codebase. All it requires is additional submind data. Breach the vaults and retrieve more of it. Perhaps by the time you're done, Anastasia will be ready to share her side project.
Okay, and so we get the next step. On top of that, we finally get to have access to some of these. So Extreme Ordnance allows the spawning of a power-up that refreshes all abilities and grants a damage bonus against Death Tongue Choristers in Heist Battlegrounds and Sentinel Servitors in the mission Operation Seraph's Shield. This basically replaces all of the heavy ammo crates that have been spawning in Heist Battlegrounds and whatnot. We get to activate this, and not only does it give us all of our heavy special and the damage boost, but it also gives us our super back. Tactical Armor allows the bypassing of traps and reduces damage taken from traps and laser barriers in Heist Battlegrounds in the mission Operation Seraph's Shield. Security Clearance allows interaction with terminals to open locked doors in Heist Battlegrounds in the mission Operation Seraph's Shield. Can be used to gain an additional PDT refraction core outside submine vaults. I'm going to start by grabbing this one, Tactical Armor, because it is going to come in a lot of handy in the Heist Battlegrounds. Top of that, I have 2 exoframe modules. I'm going to get Seraphic Weapon focusing to start. And let's see, I think I will also get, I think I'll get Seraphic Key Code Bounties, so that bounties start giving me additional rewards as well. Now, I am just fire and forget away from being able to get this, unfortunately, so I'm going to hang on to those Umbral engrams just a little bit longer. I think what I will do is I'll focus... Well, I mean, oh gosh, it's only 15. Yeah, I think I'll hang on to them a little bit longer. I can't remember if I'm actually capped out on... Nope, I can hold up to 300. Never mind. All right, so we're good. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going after Warmind Nodes. I'm going to combine a resonant stem, and we're going to show how this works exactly. So you see here, Europa, Eventide, Cliff, Refuge. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take this override frequency over to Europa. You also see Eventide. We're going to head on over here, and we're going to see if we can track down these Warmind Nodes today. All right, here we go. So as soon as we spawn in, we're going to want to immediately turn it to our right. All of these are in set locations. It's honestly very helpful to just have a guide help you with all of these things. But this is actually in a pretty important location. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a glow that appeared as I kind of went over this. That is how you can tell. We're going to go down a little bit of a ways. You can hear these strange noises. Do you hear all that? And that is how you get yourself Ikelos a weapon. So we need to be grabbing a few of these today as we go throughout the game. However, there's one other thing I want to be pointing out here soon today, something that we actually haven't been able to talk about in this series thus far, and we're actually in the perfect place for this. So I guess we're going to do this just immediately. I'm going to probably go and collect all the rest of my resonant stems mostly off screen, but that's basically how they work. Very simple. In fact, we'll grab another one here just to like show where it's going to take us, which is Orbital Control Nexus Upload. So that's actually in the orbital station. I have to go all the way into the Operation Seraph's Shield mission to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to go and run and do that right this second. I'll have to do that off screen. But I want to talk about this. Okay. We have not been able to do this thus far because of these right here. These artifact mods. You need artifact mods to be able to run these sorts of lost sectors. These are solo lost sectors. I mean, you can run them with a group, but you don't really get rewarded for doing so. But if you run them solo, you can get yourself some very unique exotic armor. We'll take a look right here. If solo, exotic head armor rare. You got champions, barrier and overload, void burn, void shields, and then a modifier shocker. You also have match game to worry about, extra shields, although match game I know is going away with Lightfall. And then there's also the possibility of getting enhancement cores. These lost sectors rotate on a daily basis. The location of them usually is 2 days in a row, but the actual modifiers as well as the rewards changes every single day. So you have to wait if you want to get a specific type of exotic for each slot. And this is only armor, by the way, not weapons. So I can only get helmets here. So let's do this thing with Void in tow. I've got my typical Void setup going. I've got Lema and Arc. I've got my new Disparity Pulse Rifle for anti-barrier rounds. And I've got my Taipan FR4 for all that extra damage. So let's begin. We're going to be pretty much relying on Lema and Arc for most of this damage. But I think it'll get the job done. So we got to run through this entire lost sector on legend difficulty. And this is, again, this is something you need to be in the current season to be able to take advantage of. And the odds of us actually getting what we want out of this are not as high as you may think. In fact, we're probably going to be struggling a little bit with damage here because some of my stuff is a little bit under leveled, excuse me. I think I should mostly be fine, though. If I can just keep that damage on you, eventually that will proc that. And every single time you kill a champion, you get a revive back. Notice the number of revives on the bottom right is limited. If you lose all these and you die, you fail the entire lost sector. There's also a time limit for your score, but that's not nearly as important. Score doesn't really pertain to much of anything. Also, was one of those frames already outside of the thing? I think they were. That's hilarious. Let's make our way through this lost sector. Now, the trick to this isn't just beating this lost sector, but getting good enough that you're able to go through a route as quickly and as efficiently as possible so that you can do this time and time and time again because you want to farm these things. Now, I know that they're making this, they're changing things in the future, so do keep that in mind, but that is the way that they have worked. What the frick? Get off of that. That's the way it's been working thus far. Let's continue to take these guys out. If I can get a Void Explosion, that would be great, but they're all protecting their vitals, so that's not going to happen. All right, well, let's start getting these frames out. Oh, hold on. Thank goodness for the additional Void damage. I do have to be careful, though, because those Minotaurs do shoot Void damage, and that can cause me a lot of problems if I'm not cognizant of that fact, because they can kill me very quickly. Also, look at the damage that you take. Also, those Hobgoblins have Void Grenades, which is another issue you have to deal with as well. Let's keep taking these guys out. I'm not, like I said, not super concerned with score, but we're going to hit a point here where I'm going to need to focus on... Oh, stop it. Focus on that really quickly. Okay, we do have an anti-barrier Hobgoblin down there. Just a moment while I hit them with some Void damage. There we go. And once that shield comes up, which will be at about a third of their health, we need to take that out and stun them as quickly as possible. And I'm going to save this super for later on in the lost sector. Come on. There we go. All right, champion is defeated. Keep moving. I'm going to make my way on over to the other side. It's a good thing these frames are basically indestructible. Now all that's left is the Minotaur, which shouldn't be too hard to take care of. And there we go. All right, now we may move on to the next area. Let me make sure I'm topped off on this. Get Clown Cartridge going. I was hoping for 9, but I'll settle for 7, I suppose. And now remains the boss, who also shoots Void damage. Another thing we need to be wary of. So here we go. Did you fall, sir? I think you fell. All right, hold on. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, the Wyverns also have a Void damage. But luckily, it's just a standard Wyvern, so it shouldn't be too hard to take down. Burnout, thank you. All right, and as soon as everything dies in here, the boss will spawn. I am saving my super for just such an occasion. This is why I have my Orpheus rigs back on. Here we go. Oh, we got one more enemy. I'm going to actually use this opportunity while he runs up here to let my health kind of come back. All right. Let's do this thing. I'm going to do 3 shots. 1, 2. Come on, and hit him directly. Yeah, that's what I wanted. All right, we're good. I don't know why I'm still being shot at, even though I'm technically invisible, but whatever. All right, now we just need to clear the room. We're not done yet. We do have a champion in here as well. There he is. Let's kill him. And if I can just hit him with a direct with that, we should be fine. Perfect. Doing good. Got those volatile rounds. Beautiful. Is there another champion? I actually don't know. Making sure you kill the number of champions in the room is the most important part to this entire thing. But there we go. That is how you do a solo Lost Sector, at least on the Legend difficulty. I am a little bit out of my depth for Master, but hey, got some Seraph key codes for it. Got some gauntlets that suck and an enhancement core, which means that I definitely need to run this thing again and again and again until I get what I want. Also, I love how this spawned inside of the geometry here. That's hilarious. There we go. I knew I was going to eventually get something from running this over and over and over again, but we got ourselves a Mask of Bacchus with a, honestly, better roll than I've ever been able to get on a Mymin account. So, got this one, which I think I already had Mask of Bacchus. I could be wrong about that, but hey, it's actually pretty decent. Got Shift instead of Dodge, and I can use that on my Stasis subclass. That took me 6 runs to get that, which gives you an idea of how fast that is. Now you look at the timer and say 3.5 minutes. Oh, that's not so bad. That's just how long, you know, from the second the Lost Sector starts to the second I open the chest. All of the loading screens and everything in between isn't taken into account. It's basically 5 minutes per run. I mean, and that's if you, and I got faster as I was going too. So, almost what, 25 minutes to do all that basically. It's close to 30. Yeah, it was it's a lot of work, but yeah, that's how Lost Sector farming effectively goes. Pretty darn simple. Wanted to actually take the time to show that off. And this obviously also applies to things like Nightfalls and the like, being able to stun champions in there. We have much more access to higher level Nightfalls like Legend and Master and even Grandmaster with stuff like this. Grandmaster, in fact, is even more accessible than Master. It's harder, but it's more accessible because Grandmaster fixes you at a certain power cap and requires a lower minimum. Master, you have to work harder to actually meet it, although all of this is getting changed a little bit later on as well, so I don't even know why I'm giving you this information. It's not even relevant. Anyway, that is going to be pretty much it for this episode. I know we didn't really do a whole lot. We just kind of went through a single solo Lost Sector and took a look at a res. Honestly, if it hadn't have made me go into Operation Seraph Shield to get the next amp, I wouldn't have stopped it there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to run all the way through that mission, you know, what is effectively a 45-minute, 50-minute mission unless I absolutely speedrun it. Just to go and get exactly one Warmind node when I would much rather deal with the ones that are actually in the open world. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Next episode, we are going to actually continue with More Than a Weapon. I hope you're all looking forward to it. I will see you all in the next one.